Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's Adventures with Peps. We've got this block champion model from Warlord games. I'm going to paint him up as a blood packer. We're going to start off with his flesh, Reichland flesh shade, because that's the biggest part of the model. I obviously gave it the black undercoat and a heavy dry brush of the pallid witch flesh. I then went over his actual flesh and lightened it up even more to make sure that it comes across a bit better. Now, this character, he is a block champion. He's meant to be a man of the block, hero of the people. I'm actually switching him over to the blood pack. When I saw him, I was painting the cyborg robo dogs that you get, and I thought he looked like a dog handler. So in my little setting, he actually runs the free cyborg robo dogs, and they're his chargers. He's looking after them. And in my setting, he is called Lucius Warner. He is armed with a big old baseball bat and a meaty fist club that I imagine his dogs gnaw at every now and again. So these are just weapons to keep the dogs under control. He could be brutal in game. I gotta work out what stats I want to use. He's got to be higher than your average ganger. So he's probably going to be a heavy or a lieutenant maybe. Most likely a heavy. But if I give him the free dogs and make a proper gang out of that, he could be brutal at 50 points. The dogs could absorb hits for him. They're also very aggressive in close combat. I just got this sense of the judges have hunted down the blood packers, so somewhere they shouldn't be. He unleashes the hounds and he just chases them down. Could be like a real creepy chase scenario in the game. I've got lots of plans flowing through my head. Will I ever have enough time to actually start showing you more battle reports? Who knows? So this is the first of many coats on his flesh. I go back and forth. I think it's too light at this point, so he will darken down as we go through. So as you're watching this video and you're thinking, hey, he looks darker than earlier, it's probably because I decided at that point to start hitting him with more shade. Up next is the Grim Black. It's a very easy step. It's his baseball bat, his billy club, his iron bar. It could be a lot of things actually in this game. I'm just hitting it up with the Grim Black. It's a simple, safe colour to use on a pipe. I will also be hitting up his boots with the same Grim Black. But yeah, he's a pretty straightforward model, to be honest with you. I'm going to make him match the blood packers, so he's going to have the colours of the gang, so expect yellows, greens, reds, blues. And for the most part, it's a wonderful sculpt. I think it had very little cleanup. There is one issue at the hand that is holding the club. I imagine there should be a little gap to see through there, but I'm not going to cut that out. My skill set is not there. I fear that if I try to cut out that hole, I'll probably end up taking out the baseball bat as well, which I don't want to do. So we're just going to leave it and paint over. But yeah, I am loving these models. My imagination has not been this on fire for a long time. And it's purely because of 2000 AD and these Judge Dredd figures. If you're collecting, let me know. Drop me a comment below. Tell me where I can go check out your stuff, because I really want to find other players, other collectors, other painters. I've found quite a few of you on Instagram already, but I want to find more, so drop me comments below and let me know where to find ya. With the black all done, I grab the magic blue. I find this blue is wonderfully bright. It's colourful. I feel it's something that Mega City 1 citizens would wear, because it's just over the top. I'm going to paint his trousers in this. It's just going to give him a nice pop of colour, make him look a little bit different, break up all the flesh tone and all the red that's going to appear, and just give us this nice tonal base to play around with. With the trousers now drying as well, we move on to the blood red. Now, I'm not entirely sure where to begin. There's this giant jacket that he's wearing, and I just don't want to make a mess, so I end up deciding To begin at the front here, cut in against the baseball bat, and then as you'll see, I slowly move around, trying to tidily hit everything. I want to make sure there's enough paint going on that it shades nicely, but not enough that it floods and pools. That's super annoying when that happens. But I'm just cutting along behind this baseball bat. We're going to cover the entire jacket in the red, and we're also going to get his boot coverings in this red as well. I weren't entirely sure if they should have been black or if they were part of the trousers, so I hit them with the red, and I'm glad I did because they're definitely a different piece to the model. They're not part of the trousers. And they do weirdly look like armor plates, so maybe they're shin guards to protect him from dog bites. I don't know how robo dogs work. Are they like a normal dog where they will take little nips at people? Or are they actually well trained? Maybe the inhibitor chip has been took out by this guy, and he's now got to arm himself accordingly to protect himself, as well as make sure the dogs are aggressive enough against intruders. I really do imagine, like, I don't know, there's a game where the judges have to sneak into the enemy base of operations, and maybe this guy and his dogs are patrolling, and they either have to avoid him and sneak off, or they have to just fight him full on and blast their way through the robo dogs. That could be a fun scenario. Judge Dredd just gives you so much opportunity to play different types of games. Like there's the drug busts that you could do. There's obviously straight up combat you could do, taking on like a force of Clegs in open war. You could even have block riots and block wars happening. Car chases, bike chases, there's so much you can do. This game really is opening up my ideas of what I could play. I just gotta find time to do it all in. Right, I think we are good on the jacket. Yeah. Let's move on to the next step. Up next, I grab the alchemy purple, and I use that on his little scar that he's got on his stomach, and then also on his hair. Now this is a nice pinkish purple colour. It will kind of blend into the red, which is fine. I didn't want it to be over the top, stand outish. The bit that I used on the scar is going to get muted down as I put more flesh shade on. It's around this time that I decided that I thought his skin colour was too bright. I wanted to darken him down. So after this step, I think you'll see me hitting it up with more shade. But just got to make sure I get all his hair and his mutton chops. Because of course a dog handler like this, he's got to have mutton chops. He's like a weird futuristic groundskeeper. He's probably banging stuff with his club in the air vents, chasing out any rats, and then the robo dogs are chasing after them. But yeah, I'm loving the way this model is looking. This is such a characterful model. You could almost paint it in modern time colour schemes, and he would probably fit quite well. Not entirely sure he'd blend into a fantasy setting. Maybe he would. You might have to trim off those knee pads. Right, the first hit of a new flesh wash has happened. You can see it now. Skin is slightly darkened. And then I moved on to the orc skin green, which I'm using for his knee pads, and his glove on his right hand and left hand, I should say. He's got gloves on both hands. You don't have to single out one. This is really just a big splash of colour. I use this green on my judges, so it's kind of a nod to them. Law enforcement have green body armour, so why would the block gangers not also be using the same type of body armour? Everybody wants to stay safe when they're attacking each other. This is so much fun to paint. I'm really enjoying it. This is going to be one of the few models that I do extra highlights on sooner rather than later. I have really enjoyed painting this model. I'll drop a link down below direct to Warlord Games so you can buy the kit that he's in, or at least take a look. But yeah, it's just a wonderful model. think out of all the blood packers, this could become one of my favourite. Gotta remember, he's not a lieutenant level figure, he's gonna be a heavy at best. But it also seems like a waste of points to make him a heavy with just a baseball bat. I feel like heavies need a gun. But hey, that's just the way it goes. It's the way it goes. There we go. Green is all down. We'll let that dry for a minute and we'll move on to the next colour. And that next colour is the Zealot Yellow. You've seen me use it a lot. I really enjoy this yellow. It's a pleasure to paint. Haven't found a Games Workshop version of this yellow that works as well. I just think it looks nice on white. It's not over the top garish yellow. If you put it over silver, it goes very shiny. So yeah, I'm just picking out his shoulder pads. It's going to help frame his face. I'm also going to hit up the loose chains that are rattling around. Did think about using runic grey, but I didn't think it would stand out as well. It would seem a bit pointless. It would get lost in translation, so we're just going to use yellow on it all. And this is going to be the final step. So as always, I hope you've learnt something. Hope I've inspired you to do something. I do appreciate you listening to me ramble on about my ideas. If you've reached this far, I do appreciate the support. I'd love a like, comment and a subscribe if you may. If not, I still appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Look, enjoy the following photos and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers for watching.